Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard to say those last ones?
Thank you for joining us with the Rosary.
My mouth is
not used to it.
Hopefully that was awesome for you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be doing that daily throughout the week. Tomorrow we'll be back on doing the Rosary with the Instagrams. And tomorrow we will also be doing it on YouTube. But we'll have special guests tomorrow, Father Leon, to join us with not only the Rosary, but with the Coffee Talk after. So that's what we're going to do right now. For those of you who are on the Grams, you'll probably be able to hear us a little bit better on the YouTubes. So check us out. Say hi for all of you. For all of you that are logged on right now on YouTube, say hey, what's up? Good to see you.
We're gonna end the lives here.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna end our live streams on the Instagrams and just go right into the YouTube. If you want to stick around,
everybody.
log on to our YouTube account, St. Greg's Youth and Young Adult. You can just type that in, and then we'll be chatting on from now for, I don't know, 15 minutes, 10, 20, half an hour, 40 days.
See how the conversation goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But we're going to grab a little cup of coffee here and just chat about the business of the day and all this and that and the other thing. This is actually just a test for some things that we're going to be kind of rolling out soon. So for those of you who are young adults that are tuned in at the moment, AMPed is still going on as scheduled. We're going to have an awesome way of doing that. Yes, it's still going to happen. We're not going to let anything drop, so we're just kind of in motion. We're still figuring out the whole digital scene and how we can best get that out there. But tune in. It's going to be so good. And I've got the eyes in the scope of the podcast down the lane. And we're going to just, we're going to figure this all out. And we're going to just keep doing ministry because that's what we do. The Lord doesn't stop, and neither do we. So I'm going to log you guys off of here on our live stream here.
Lauren.
Thank you for tuning in.
Father Ryan's back.
You can pop on in. Oh, my wife's on here too. Hey guys, what's
Why
up?
does your wife always
Jump
show
onto
up
YouTube and
the YouTubes?
join the conversation there. I'm going
I
to
know.
turn off here. Thanks for joining us for the Rosary. Love you guys. We'll see you soon.
I'm the only one who doesn't have a phone camera going right now. So you just sit here.
No, I'm just going to pull up our YouTube
All right.
so I can see what people are saying.
What's up, YouTube? What's going on here? I'm going to just get this out of here. It's good to see y'all. What's up, everybody? Hey.
What's up?
So I don't know how many of you actually enjoy coffee, but we're coffee fans over here. At least
No, we're not.
So
Joe and I.
I am.
Nicole?
No
Forget
coffee.
it.
you
No
can
coffee.
say I'm such a coffee fan that awkward moment has arisen when it comes to coffee time, and
Oh, jeez. This is a real problem. Actually, this sounds pretty good. Yeah. I think we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
awesome.
All right.
I will try not to
So-
kick the...
Maybe can I throw something out there for us to start with?
Yeah, let's do
Because
it.
I'll be right
I was contemplating and praying through our Rosary just now. I think most of the people who are on YouTube were with us for the Rosary. I was thinking back, and I should have been meditating upon the mysteries, and I was, but in between that, I kind of had this boom moment here. And I was thinking back, remembering all the different places I've prayed the Rosary before. When I was in college seminary in Erie, and we would get together on Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the afternoon, and many other places growing up learning how to say the Rosary. I was thinking it's kind of cool moment thinking about that and remembering those places that I've prayed the Rosary and the people I've prayed the Rosary with, and how awesome that has been, and what a great Catholic prayer it is. And then I was also thinking maybe we should do this and talk about our Rosary or our favorite Rosary, because I know Rosaries are kind of those things you're just like, okay, grab one and take it with you when you need to. Now me, this has been with me for about 5 years now, given to me. Divine Mercy Encounter, Diocese of Erie, runs a kind of retreat based upon that, multi-generational retreat. And this was a gift from that retreat, my tricolor blue rosary, fancy. I really enjoyed it. And I've come to realize that it's the most durable rosary to carry around in my pocket, for the simple fact that other ones I pulled out of my pocket and beads go flying or something because it gets caught on the keys and it cuts something. So good rosary.
With the growing up, and I think my mom's tuned in here. Hey, Mom. Hey. My my grandma used to come over on Friday nights, and she would have us do a rosary, and I hated it. I hated doing it. I was a teenager, and I was like, it's a Friday night. Like, I want to go and do something. But when she would come over and babysit, we wouldn't be able to go out until we had our rosary. And so we did that for a stretch, and I ran through it, and I just kind of was not into the rosary. But just even a few years ago, back in 2016, it was really starting to weigh on me about doing the rosary more. As I learned about like the Battle of Lepanto and just the power of the rosary, I really got drawn to it. And I was, I love our country. And so I was just kind of lifting up our country in prayer. And I said, you know what, I'm going to do this every day, because this is what Fatima's asking us to do. And I was like, all right, I'm going to challenge myself to do it. And I really did not know the rosary well. Like I knew kind of the general flow, but, I still even have problems with, the Hail Holy Queen, at the end. There's a couple words that still kind of throw me off, but it took me a while of doing it over and over again, of getting the mysteries down and getting into that prayer. And then in that same year, actually 2016, we went to World Youth Day, and I had a rosary on me that I took along with me, and I got that. It's one of the 7 crown rosaries. And that went along that entire journey through Poland. Yeah. And it's actually a third class relic, because I had it touched up to JP2's garments that he was shot in, which is kind of cool. So my rosary is now a relic, which is pretty awesome. And so it was also with me when I saw Blessed Pier Giorgio's Frassati's coffin, and so like I got to see a lot of these things in St. Faustina's chapel, and all of these places, where like the Divine Mercy image is. And I've just been hearing through my prayer over and over, just dive back into the rosary, and there's been times when I've just been exhausted by it. So I've put it away for a little bit. I'm like, I can take a little break. Right. But then like after a week, I'm like, no, I need to get back into this. And the power of the rosary is so strong. And that's why we're doing it now, of just digging into the rosary. And, this isn't my rosary that I have at home. This is actually a rosary I got from Father Leon from the Holy Land. Our staff got those rosaries. Father Leon brought it back from the Holy Land. So that's what I use here in the office. But, wow, the rosary, and, even how it's tied in with Divine Mercy. Yeah. When Fatima kind of led to praying for Russia and the Soviet Union, which kind of failed because the Soviet Union just blew up into this evil empire. I think the 20th century really kind of lays out a foundation for us of why it's important to pray the rosary. Yeah. Because if you're not, then we just pull further and further away. And when you pull further and further away from the Lord, geopolitically things happen. There are things that happen because of that. So that's kind of my tale of the rosary, but really grown to appreciate it, and it's become a daily for me. So, and I know you're kind of new on the scene with the rosary.
Yeah. So it's, I guess as a youth minister, it's kind of embarrassing to say that the rosary has not been a super big part of my upbringing. As a kid, growing up until I was 16, I didn't even know what the rosary was. My mom and I never prayed it. Yeah, I went to Catholic school, but they never taught me it. I was not raised praying the rosary. And when I got back into youth ministry, church, at 16, I honestly felt overwhelmed by it, because a lot of the prayers I just didn't know. Like, yeah, we should know the Our Father and the Hail Mary, but like when you're not raised saying those prayers and everyone's saying it around you, you feel like overwhelmed and out of place. And so I guess the rosary was always like a daunting thing for me. And it was just a hard thing for me to start doing. And not until like a couple years ago did I start really trying to do the rosary and started to try to memorize the prayers. Like like for me, I still need this thing with me all the time because I don't have the mysteries memorized. Like I don't know which day is which mysteries. I know the Hail Mary and Our Father so good now. I got the Glory Be. I even got the Oh My
Nailed
Jesus. Nailed it. But like I don't know Hail Holy Queen. If I don't have this, I have no idea how to say it. So I was just talking to Joe. I was like, why is it so hard for me to say that? I'm like, help me when I try to say it. But I'm starting to realize like the beauty of the rosary and like the power that it has. I have, when I came back to the church at 16 and I went off to college and stuff, like, I wasn't praying it, but I knew the power of it. There were many times where I don't sleep well and I have nightmares, and it's just normal. It's just how I am. And anytime I'm scared, I have a rosary next to me and I'll just grab it and fall asleep with it. And I'm totally fine. Yeah. I've also put rosaries like on all my doors at home, and I feel so much safer. And there's just like something very powerful about the rosary and the power that it has. I have it in my pocket. And if I'm ever scared, I just grab it. If I'm like freaking out about something, I'm like, Mary, you got me. Yeah. So I'm kind of like a work in progress when it comes to the rosary. Let me just tell you, this time where we can't be with you guys, I have definitely been praying the rosary much more. And many people have been like, Nicole, lead a mystery. And I'm like, okay. So,
but you know what? There's no shame in taking one of these around, because this is how you learn and do it. Because if you're like, well, I'm not going to learn, so then I'm not going to do the rosary. And then you kind of put that into the mindset of like, well, then I'm not going to learn other prayers too. But that's how you learn.
And that was kind of my mentality. It was like,
take it.
Like, I don't want to take time to learn it, so I'm not going to. But now I have this on my desk. I have it. Like, anytime we do the rosary, I'm like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, grab these things. These are awesome. These are good.
Good. I've got quite a collection because I'm like, ooh, this one has this one, or this one looks like that, and this one's good for youth. And yeah, I collect resources for ministry. It can be a little awkward sometimes.
Well, you got to do what you got to do, you know?
What you got to do. Yeah.
I mean, as youth ministers, we collect resources all the time. Like, I have a whole shelf full of just stuff, and I'm just like, okay, hopefully youth helps with somebody.
Yeah, and it will. It's a library, you know?
But yeah, the rosary is cool. I'm learning a lot more about it. Doing the consecration to Mary, the 33 days of morning glory, I've done it twice now. Yeah. I'm always like, Mary's so cool. Yeah. And
the book you need to read, I don't know if you've ever read it either. Father Donald Calloway, he has a book called Warriors of the Rosary. I think that's what it's called. It's a blue and gray book. Really great book. And it talks about the history of the rosary. And then it goes into a whole bunch of Marian saints. Really, really great book.
Champions.
That's the one. Champions of the Rosary.
Lauren Atkins just said that. Champions of the Rosary for Lent.
Yeah, it is a great book. I picked it up a few years ago on one of my summer assignments. Found it in the reading room at the parish, Sacred Heart in Bowmansville, and it was awesome book. In fact, I kept it. I was reading it while I was back at the seminary, and then brought it back to the parish when I was done with it. It was a really great book. I have a copy of it now. Just put it away yesterday. So it's good.
You know, I had a conversation a few years ago with a friend of mine who's not Catholic, who was talking about the rosary. And he's like, I don't get it. It just comes back to trying to understand Mary, you know, because they think that we just worship Mary, you know, like as if she's a God. And there's this big misconception of like where Mary fits in, you know, Protestants and others are like, what are you doing with Mary? You know, like, what's going on here? But what they don't see about the rosary is that it's just reflecting upon just the amazing moments of Jesus's life. And Mary's never about, you know, look at me, I'm Mary, you know, like the focus is on me. She's always just reflecting and being an example to Jesus. And so the rosary always just brings us right back to Jesus.
Actually, interestingly, so I'm in school right now for theology. And last night with homework, really interesting point about Mary was talked, because it's like an intro course and it's like intro to Mariology. Currently, I'm in that section. And he explained that Mary is an example of who the exemplar humanity should be. So humanity should be perfection before the fall. We should be connected and reflecting the image and likeness of God. And Mary is the example of that. So when we get to heaven, we're going to be sinless and kind of be living in that perfect perfection. And that Mary is the example that we can look up to.
And it's so difficult because, I mean, we are not pre-fall,
No,
so we're
we're after
constantly
fall.
slipping. And it reminds me of being at convention in March because I ran up the escalator the wrong way. And
Sorry.
and it's hard to do. Yeah, it's hard to do. I don't know if you've ever
Wait, on
run up.
purpose?
Yeah, there's no one there. I was like, all right, here we go.
Why did you do that?
For the fun of it. But
Okay.
sorry, I don't know if that's cool or
That's
not.
incredible.
But it's so hard, right? And I think maybe it's kind of like the same way because it's like Mary sitting at the top of the escalator, and she's like, come to me.
No. Mary's sitting at the top of the right way up the escalator.
That's valid.
Okay, all right.
We're just running up the wrong side,
Yeah,
trying
you're
our
just
best
Like,
to get there.
I'm going to get there because I have the stamina and endurance
Oh,
and
Kristen
the
Phelps says she's remembers
agility
that.
to do this.
Yeah,
Then,
Phil.
Mary's like,
You know what I'm
you can
talking
just
about.
come up the right side of the elevator.
And we're like,
follow me. And so
Right.
maybe a good image here is Adam trying to just hike it up the wrong side of the escalator, and Mary just goes right past it, and you're like, why don't I just hop? I mean, yeah, okay. Metaphor.
but like that's so true.
And then security's dragging you. Get out of here.
We try so hard to run up the wrong side when it's like, just look right. Like, and you're gonna go the right way. Stop looking down just your path.
Yeah, but it's tough because we get tunnel vision, and we just kind of get. And I think that's one of the benefits of this coronavirus is we're kind of snapping out of tunnel vision. We have a moment where we're just kind of reflecting, and hopefully this is short term. Hopefully this isn't the start of, like the Great Depression.
Nope, we're gonna stay positive.
But no, and I don't think so. I don't think that's the case. But it snaps us out of where we were at, and we kind of get into a tunnel vision. We're running the rat race, and we're just allowed a moment to breathe.
Well, honestly, even
reflect,
in youth ministry here, we were so on pace with like, it's the end of the year, like we're heading towards retreat, like, I had 8th grade lock-in, like this all hit the weekend of 8th grade lock-in. It had to stop everything that I was doing and completely
You're like,
change.
pause.
Like, yeah, seriously, it's kind of caused like our staff here to come together so much more and become a team. Not even just the youth ministry staff, but like the staff at St. Greg's has come together so well. And we've had to stop and like reset and refocus our ministry back onto like whatever we're doing and trying to get to you guys in like different ways. Yeah, like
It's
we
been
have
awesome.
our patterns
It really
that we're
has.
used to.
And we trying new things, getting outside the box, and that's really been refreshing. And seeing the different charisms and blessings and gifts that people have, and how they can use those in different ways that you maybe never saw before, and pulling that out and taking some of the old, some of the new, some of the unknown, and smashing them together into St. Greg's Digital 2.0, maybe.
That's why we appreciate you working with us during all of our technological issues.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
Yeah.
thanks.
And we're just going to get better at this stuff. Like right now we're just kind of like, all right, let's just do it. Let's put it together. Let's get out there and throw some ministry at people.
And people are
And we're-
appreciating it.
and
It's
it's
awesome.
and we're blessed to be able to do that, because we are still working. We're still able to produce, and we have the capabilities to do that. That's a blessing. Who knows how long that will last. And I'm putting no expectation or endpoint on it. It's just like, all right, let's take it day by day. And when you trust the Lord, like you don't have that anxiety running it. But
Interesting. She said, look up the story of the Jesuit priests who survived the epicenter of the atomic bomb dropped at Hiroshima, Japan in the 1940s.
Yeah.
That's insane.
it's a Colby thing.
Yeah.
It goes back to Colby.
Yeah.
It's, you know that story?
I do.
Do you know,
Well, it's
you know
always-
about
it's
No,
always-
those?
you tell it.
Wait, no, do you
Oh,
do
you
you
brought
know-
it up. You brought it up.
Wait, are you talking about Colby or the
Well,
Jesuit?
it's-
I don't know the Jesuit
I mean,
priest story.
there's a few different aspects to this, kind of miracles that happened surrounding the Hiroshima bombing. There's Jesuits who are praying the Rosary within their home, and that was one of the buildings that survived.
Yeah.
Um,
MK's giving us facts.
Yeah.
She said that the priests were followed all through their life, and none of them got sick from radiation sickness. That's crazy.
What's even crazier is Maximilian Kolbe was stationed in Japan, and he was going to build or help build this monastery, right?
Mhm.
And so in his prayer, he's like, I think it needs to be in this location,
Mhm.
you know? And everyone's like, nah, it shouldn't be there because the people are on this side, and like, this is the better place to do it. And he's like, nah, actually, I think it should be in this location. And so eventually, it kind of just works out. They build the monastery there. He's restationed back into Europe, and his whole story
Like
continues.
so Colby was connected to this.
Kolbe was connected to this.
Oh,
So Kolbe goes back over into Europe, where his story continues and ends in Auschwitz.
Yeah.
World War II continues on from there. And to end the war, right, what the atomic bombs
Yeah.
are dropped, Hiroshima detonates.
Yeah.
Everyone on the other side of the mountain is affected by the bomb, right? Where Hiroshima, or where that monastery was, still stood. And those priests, those Jesuits,
we're never sick.
were never sick. They were fine. They survived. And that's unbelievable, you know. And the amount of prayer that, if you guys don't know Maximilian Kolbe, that's somebody
Look
you
him
should
up.
really, really get to know, because just an awesome saint of the 20th century.
Mhm.
You know, really cool.
He's got an awesome beard sometimes too.
Yeah, you should grow that beard.
MK has more
I
facts.
can see that.
Have you never seen my picture of when I grew it? Okay, at Christ the King Seminary here in Buffalo, that there's a tradition that we have a beard growing contest amongst the seminarians and professors. I participated in it 1 year, and
Is it frightening?
well, I mean, I was up against. We've got some priests here in the diocese of Buffalo, then seminarians, and some faculty at that seminary. We've got some beard growing power, and you know, I'd never had it that long before. There's a picture of me. I think I was serving at the cathedral, and I got my brother and my sister on either side of me, and I'm wearing my cassock right after mass. I look like an Orthodox monk because I get like the head shaved and this big beard going on. I'm not the biggest fan of having the long beard, but
Me either,
I
man.
mean, when you get a
All
bunch
right,
of seminarians with this huge beard like this going on, I mean, epic. But
So MK has another fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MK is just like crushing.
Firing
this
them off.
Hey.
MK says this is about the Jesuit priests. They attribute the praying of the Rosary. They had just got done with praying a Rosary, then the
Mhm.
bomb was dropped shortly after. The church was destroyed. The rectory was only damaged. Like, that's crazy.
How about that?
What?
Yeah.
Rosary.
Love it. Yeah, so that's awesome. And Kolbe was totally devoted to Mary, you know, to her Immaculate Heart. And there's a really cool story about to the Immaculate when he was just getting started in his ministry with printing. He had a publication. I forget what it was. Do you know what the publication was called?
Immaculata
Well,
Militia?
there was the yeah. I can't remember what the publication was called though.
So he had a
It
publication.
was in Polish anyway. I don't speak Polish. Like Father Paul.
So whatever it is,
Paul,
in
where
Polish.
you at?
Father Paul,
He's
come on,
off
we're gonna-
today. Come
Ah.
on.
So, anyways, this newspaper is trying to get started, and he's like, "How much do I need for it?" And they're like, "You need this much money. We'll call it. Yeah, we'll call
It
it
was
$200.
I remember
Yeah.
weirdly it was $200.
$200." And he's like, "I don't have $200." So, so he prays about it, and then he goes into, I think it was the church or the chapel, and right on the altar was an envelope for the Immaculate, or
I
for the
think-
Immaculata.
I think the paper was called Immaculata.
It might.
Maybe. MK, check that. Check that.
Jump from the Jesuits to the Franciscans.
MK's good. She's got us.
Yeah, check that out. So, but and that was awesome because he had exactly the amount of money that was needed, and he didn't tell anybody, but somebody donated exactly that, for the Immaculate. And actually, in our office, we have an envelope taped up on the wall for the Immaculate, because this past year we had some issues with the budgets. Everything in the diocese kind of weighed down and put some pressure on us, and we're just putting that faith and kind of drawing from Maximilian Kolbe's inspiration here, and we just have that taped up that all of our money woes are going to be just not an issue, that we're just going to be able to accomplish whatever the Lord's put in our path here to do, and whatever number that is. I mean, we can work with and whatever that is, but we have
Do what you gotta do.
Yeah. So that's an awesome example. So guys, the Lord works and moves, and that's an awesome thing. The saints and Mary really provide modern examples, right?
Mm-hmm.
Scripture is amazing. It's good to jump into. Like we're in Exodus 90, and we're talking about how the Israelites are just kind of being dragged through the desert right now, and
they're them building up and learning how to worship the Lord. And there are those boring points in the book of Exodus. We were having a conversation about this last night. Of okay, this shall be 3 cubits long, and this shall be that many cubits wide, and it shall be covered in gold, and this will be bronze, and this will be silver, and this will be hung here, and the sanctuary shall be this long. And it's kind of just like, okay, I'm reading a building list here.
You should rebuild it. Okay,
but I mean, it really, the meditations that you can get from that scripture is really, really good.
Yeah. And scripture is so foundational in living in our life now. Like we're not looking at it as a history book. I mean, this is the ways of getting closer to the Lord. This is even Old Testament. This is before Christ. This is talking with the Father. But the saints really provide a modern example of what that looks like today. As
MK's got more facts.
11. What do we got?
Actually, Julianne answered the question. The magazine was called Knights of the Immaculate.
Yes. Okay. Yep.
And then MK says, Father Baker used to put his bills under statues of Mary at her feet. He was an avid prayer of the Rosary, bringing Mary into everyday life and needs. His bills were always met.
So for those of you who may be joining us from outside the Diocese of Buffalo, Father Nelson Baker, Blessed Nelson Baker,
was blessed now?
Blessed?
Is he blessed?
Oh, he's venerable. Venerable, sorry.
Venerable was before blessed.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Hopeful wishing here. So Father Baker, and a lot of people actually might know about him. He's kind of known throughout because of the Baker Boys. Father Baker founded what was then Our Lady of Victory charities. There was an orphanage, school, all sorts of stuff going on. He built Our Lady of Victory Basilica.
It's beautiful.
From pennies, and it's our beautiful, wonderful first basilica here in the Diocese of Buffalo. We've got 3 now, and it just wonderful stories. And he's up for canonization, and there's a lot of local miracles, a lot of people who know about Father Baker. And he really had a trust in our Blessed Mother, Our Lady of Victory, and to help him with the building of the basilica, but all these other charities and wonderful works of charities that he did here in the Diocese of Buffalo, and how that extended not only here locally, but throughout the nation and throughout the world in some cases. Really wonderful, beautiful stuff there.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah?
Cool dude. I like the dude.
Fun fact, my dad was a Baker kid.
Yeah.
I came from that adoption agency.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It's cool.
Yeah,
It's all true.
It's all true, except for the stuff that isn't.
Another cool fact.
But that
I
is
have
true.
this it's in storage at my parents' house right now. Given to me by a cousin of mine, and his father was a stonemason, and he worked in building the basilica, so
Really?
cutting all the marble and granite and all that stuff that's in there.
Ah.
And so he took some leftover pieces from the different altars and stuff that are present there, and built a little crucifix. So I had this crucifix, and it's about yay tall, perfect for like an altar crucifix, in the old days and stuff like that. It's beautiful, and it's made out of the extras cut off of the pieces that are made to build that basilica.
All right, that's awesome.
It's really cool. When my cousin gave this to me, he's a second cousin of mine. I was just like, this is awesome.
That's a crucifix you can't get rid of.
No, this is awesome. Awesome.
That's really cool. You got to hold on to that forever now.
Just like when
You
he
know.
becomes a saint, they'll be like, oh.
Oh yeah.
Would that be a relic? That wouldn't be.
No. I mean, unless Father Baker, I don't.
Licked it.
No,
I'm
I'll
kidding. I'm
say
sorry.
no for that. Licked it.
No. He,
All right.
cut his finger on it. He bled on it. I'm sorry. That was
What time do we have here?
146.
It is 146.
Actually, we're closing in on an hour here of
Are you
live stream.
serious?
So,
Wow.
none of us talking, but since we turned on from the Rosary,
Oh.
so that's going to mean that this is going to cut out soon.
Mhm.
So we'll probably just wrap it up here then. If that's,
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good spot to leave it at. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this was valuable. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. There's going to be more things like this. And actually tomorrow, 1 o'clock, join us again. 1 o'clock with Father Leon. So he's going to join us with the Rosary, and then we'll have more coffee talk. So make sure you grab yourself a nice cup of coffee and
I got
or
the monkey mug.
tea or hot
Or tea,
chocolate or
thank you.
whatever you're into. And we'll just go from there, and we'll kick it around. We're still testing. We're still checking all this stuff out, but there's going to be really awesome things coming, especially for you young adults. If you're a youth, tune in with Edge on Thursday, Life Team
Well, we got
on
we
Sunday.
got praise and worship Wednesday.
Praise and Worship
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
Edge Thursday. Live Teen Sunday.
Right.
All on YouTube Live, folks. So just join the party.
And my other job across on the mainland of St. Greg's.
Thanks,
Remember, masses going on normal times. Tune in for live stream masses during the day. And if you're here locally and you can come into the church is open and adoration is going on 1 till 6 p.m. There's also at 11 and 7 o'clock every day live stream a Lenten spiritual reflection
And
that
did you
a
use
whole group
yours
of
today?
people are doing right now. And it's awesome stuff that we're trying to reach out the best we can through the digital ways, or as Father Leon would say, through the cyber waves,
Interwebs.
interwebs, that too.
True. Cool, guys. Well, thanks a lot. Maybe we can just wrap up here with a prayer.
Let's end with a Hail Mary. Because Mary.
Yeah, it's appropriate. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
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 Amen. Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen.
Peace
Take care,
out.
Guys,
Have a
thank
great
you
day.
very much.
Stay safe and healthy.
Wash your hands.
Yeah, make sure you wash those.
All the time. Disinfect.
Oh, hey, Lauren, if you're still on here, Lauren Atkins, can you send me your address? Because I've got those tickets for you.
From Life Teen, yeah.
From Life Team. So
Yeah, we
send
need
those
that.
along. I need your address. Crown of Thorns that showed up in Jesus' crucifixion. Disappeared about an hour. Crown of Thorns showed up. Oh, Mom. Actually, yeah, that would be a sweet story. We're actually running out of time here. We'll have to tell that another time. But that was actually a really cool thing that happened on my mom's.
Yeah, Mama
Rosary.
Rose giving
Yeah,
us all the
Mama's
facts.
Rosary. Actually, Lauren, don't put your address here. Shoot us a message on the side. Don't put that on the.
Because don't do that here.
Yeah.
Was it St. Greg's Youth?
Oh, yeah,
at
Insta us. That's good. Yeah,
gmail.com?
Insta us.
Or Insta
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Instagram us. Sweet. Thank you. What was that?
No, you're good.
Joe?
That's
You
it. You're good.
All right,
We can
guys.
go.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you later.